All right, what's up, guys? We are back with another podcast episode. We're actually at episode 48. Will, we have almost made it to 50, and to celebrate 48, well, maybe not celebrate, but
Whoa.
if my voice sounds a little more nasally than it already is by default, I got sick a few days ago, and I'm still super congested. So here's to more nasally Chris, if you didn't think that was possible.
No, yeah, it's possible, and it's hurting my ears right now. I almost skipped this episode because I knew you were sick. I was like, oh gosh, I don't want to do this with this guy.
You didn't want to catch my sickness over this FaceTime call?
No, I definitely did not. And it's happened before. That's the thing.
It has happened before. It happened right before a trip. Which trip was that?
I don't remember, but I felt like you were sick, and all of a sudden we were just talking over FaceTime or on the phone, and then I got sick, and I was like, how? I felt like I got the same thing you got.
No, you did literally get the same thing man, what trip was this? This was a little bit ago, I think. But whatever it was, you seriously came down with the same exact thing I had. And I was like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah, no, it was horrible.
Oh,
right.
You know what it was?
What?
It was when I got back from Nationals, I got pretty sick with something. Like a ton of people got sick after Nationals. And then you had like a trip or something.
Yeah, somewhere else. That's why I couldn't go to Nationals. I can't remember where I went, but...
Yeah. You were gone somewhere, but yeah, let's hope you don't get it this time.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been gone, and I'm finally back, and it's been about a week. I was able to finally play some pickleball. It was not pretty, I'll tell you that right now. So
how bad are we talking? How bad?
Oh, shoot. I was like, wow, this is what it feels like to be Chris? Oh, gosh.
You got a glimpse. But the only thing you didn't get a glimpse of was people telling you what it's like to be Chris all the time. You didn't have people at the course going, hey, that guy's a 3.5.
They didn't say I was 3.5. They said it worse. They said, hey, man, are you sure your name's not Chris? And I was like, dang.
So what was there anything actually noticeable, like noticeably worse? Any specific shot or anything?
Honestly, it was just my feel of the ball. Like things I'm like, oh, this should be a great third shot drop, and I'm hitting it. Or here's the thing, it's like it's happening in slow motion. I'm doing a third shot drop, right? I'm like, oh, this feels like this is gonna be good. I'm already walking and running up to the no volley zone, and as soon as I go there, the ball flies like right at me, and I barely dodged, and I'm like, what? That was supposed to be a third shot drop. That was supposed to be good.
You gave him like a third shot lob.
Yeah,
not even
much.
lob, half lob.
Yeah, half a lob. It probably would have been better if it was a lob, but nah. It just got smoked, and I was like, what the heck? Yeah.
Dude, that's so unfortunate. I mean, did it come back pretty quickly, or do you still feel like you need a couple days?
Honestly, it didn't feel like it came back. I just felt slow. That's all it was. And I just felt sluggish, man. All the wine I was drinking in Italy.
And the pizza.
And the pizza, yeah, it just slowed me down. I was just like, oh my gosh, so, but I feel like I'm back in the swing of things a little bit now. I did have a pretty good session this past weekend, and I went to my buddy's house because I didn't want to be embarrassed at the public court, so I went to my buddy's house. He has a private court in his backyard, and I put up the excuse like, hey, I got this sweet new net, and he needs a new net because he didn't even have a good like temp net. It was just falling apart or whatnot. So I got him the most expensive net, a most expensive semi-permanent net, the Selkirk Labs 001 net that the PPA uses. And I set it up at his place. It was totally an upgrade. And then I just played for a good, I don't know, 3-4 hours, playing with a few different paddles, just trying to get my touch back and making sure I can still review paddles, because I'm like, these all feel the same to me right now. Just trying to get in the swing of things. That's what it was.
Goes to Italy once and just forgets how to do anything when he comes back.
Yeah, didn't even know how to. Yeah, I didn't even bring my camera. I didn't even know how to set that up. So I was like, this is not happening.
Dude,
so
making me nervous. Maybe I shouldn't take this vacation in January to Hawaii. I might come back and I'll be like, dude, I don't even know what the pickleball studio is.
Yeah, you're gonna come back and then you're gonna start a whole new channel, the Cornhole Studio.
But see, actually, that won't happen because some people commented on the last episode, and they informed me that there's a pickleball tournament in Maui in January. So I changed the dates of when we were going to go so we could go to that tournament.
When is that tournament?
January. Oh man, I think it's like January 20th through the 24th, like in that, somewhere in that range. It might be a couple days sooner than that, but yeah, it's in that range.
I'm going to try and make it. We should double partner together.
Yeah, we'll see if I end up doing men's, because I was thinking about it, because at first I was like, okay, maybe I just sign up as I need a partner, but then I was like, okay, Sarah kind of wants to do mixed, so then that would mean singles, mixed, and men's, and I was like, okay, now I've turned my 1 week Hawaii vacation into 3 days of pickleball, and I was like,
yeah, probably
Sarah likes pickleball, but I don't know if she wants to go to Hawaii just to play pickleball. So we'll see what happens. But I am a little bit excited for that. I thought it would be fun. The trip didn't change much. We were gonna go like sometime after New Year's. I wasn't really locked into a date. I was just like, well, we'll just start off the year and go to Hawaii. But then I saw the tournament and I was like, oh well, you might as well go and play some pickleball.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. I only say that I might go, and now it's a high probability. Maybe not. I don't know. I might be stressed for fun. But it's because in January, I will be going to the Philippines for my buddy's wedding. And that's January 4th. And then funny enough, after that, I think I haven't bought my return flight yet, but I think I'm going to stay in the Philippines to play some pickleball with some of the locals. So if anybody out there listening, if you know of any places to play pickleball or you know somebody, hit me up. I'm trying to play out there. I'll be in Boracay, but I'll spend a few days in Manila. And then after that, I think I'm going to go to Taiwan to play pickleball there, because I've been messaging his name is, I believe it's Will. His name is also Will. And I believe his last name is Chung. And I'm like, wow, you just wonder. But
you're getting kidnapped. This is so fake. He just happens to be named Will Chung and is into pickleball.
Okay. No, I've seen some of his videos, and he's actually the #1 singles pickleball player in Taiwan.
Well, sick.
Yeah, and I'm gonna challenge.
That's a pros versus Joes.
Exactly. So I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna try and represent the States, guys. So wish me luck if I do go, which I probably will go. What do you mean?
We should have picked a better guy. I mean, come on, at least send me or something.
Whoa, dang! I am gone for a couple weeks. Chris comes back and he thinks he's, she's playing pro now.
I've been thinking of comebacks the whole time you were gone. I didn't get any work done. I just thought about what can I do? What can I do to rip them apart a little bit?
Okay.
But no, dude, that'll actually be really cool. That sounds like a fun little time.
Right, yeah. So if you're out there and you're listening to this and you have friends or you play pickleball in Taiwan, let me know as well. If I know somebody, I'm more likely to make that trip happen. And then, of course, I'm in Taiwan. I got to come back to the States, and, it's a shorter trip from Taiwan and the Philippines back to Hawaii than it is, back to the mainland in the States. So maybe I'll swing by Hawaii as well. Who knows? We'll see.
Dude, you know what you got to do? Because I've been back on it now, but you got to, when it's about to flip over to the new year, you got to do that Southwest companion pass, the credit card churning, so you can, because dude, all of my flights, I'm trying to think, I don't think I've paid for a flight this year, and I still have points. Like, I've probably still got at least 3 more flights for free, maybe 4.
Sick. You're right.
So you should definitely do it, because I imagine you've got the expenses to cover getting that thing. And I started doing getting some other cards, and like our entire trip to Hawaii will be paid for, except for like food and activities.
Sick. Heck yeah. All right, well, exciting stuff for Charlie, but we're here to talk about pickleball and our pickleball journey here stateside. And like I said before, it's been going okay. I'm probably gonna play again a little bit tomorrow. I've been playing with a few new paddles that have been on my doorstep since I got back. Pro Drive Ghost, the Groovin Move-In 13S, and I know you've been playing with it too, the Volair Forza, which is Volair's thermoform paddle. What do you think about that paddle? And I mean, are you playing with anything else right now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hitting a ton of stuff. I'm really trying to build up that backlog for it's crazy to me that we're already halfway through July because I was like, I've got so much time to build up all these videos. And I'm like, dude, all I've done is play in the videos. I haven't shot anything. I mean, that's not true. I've been play testing like the Oya and the Vatic Prism, and I've pretty much got my thoughts at least solidified on the Prism. But yeah, I did briefly get to hit the Forza today when I was doing a ball machine first look / review. And it's exactly what I thought it would be, which is it falls somewhere between a R1 Pulsar and a double black diamond. And I don't know which it's closer to. I would need to hit it more, and I'd need to have the paddles on the court. I only had the Forza with me today. But and that's to say, it's a great paddle at a reasonable price. It's basically, I think it is the same price as a double black diamond, so it's not overpriced, and it's in stock. Though I think I was just on their website, and I think they're already sold out of their first run or something, and they were talking about back orders. But anyways, yeah, it's a good paddle. Had great spin. It was like 2018 RPM. I really felt like I could rip the ball. Like the top spin. I mean, anytime you have fresh grit, dude, it's just monstrous. Like it's crazy what you can do with the ball.
Yeah, no, totally agree. Yeah, and I echo those same sentiments about the paddle. And honestly, just a lot of the paddles out now in general. I thought maybe I was just out of touch, but I was playing with a lot of I wasn't playing with a lot, but I was trying a few different paddles here and there, and some of the people I was playing with, I was like, hey, let me hit with that, see if I can feel a difference. And I don't know if it's because I've been out of it for a while, but a lot of these paddles feel the same. Do you agree? Like,
I think it's not necessarily that they're the same. I think it's very close. Basically, it's getting
similar.
nitpicky, I guess. But yeah, they're very similar. It's just small characteristics of like which small thing do you prefer? Like for example, a double black diamond versus like a carbon 1X. Yes, I do think they feel a little bit different. I think the carbon 1X hits harder, but the main difference is like, do you want more hand speed or do you want more plow through? Like which do you care about more? So for me, the hand speed matters more. So then I end up choosing that, and it's just a ton of that, and we've talked about it on here before, but you're just going to see more and more of that. Like, it's almost, at this point, if someone came out with a thermoformed paddle that was bad,
yeah,
I would almost be more impressed, because it's like, how can you mess it up? The formula's already there, and it's good.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Okay.
So I think the Forza is good. I think if you were considering an R1 Pulsar or a double black diamond, it's not exactly the same, but it's close enough that if you were really impatient and couldn't get your hands on one of those, then I would say go pick up a Forza. Like, I could go to a tournament and I would be totally fine using it. Plus, they get bonus points because of the ones I just mentioned, the R1 Pulsar and the 6.0, except maybe minus the rainbow version of the 6.0. That Forza, sick color scheme. The blue grip and the gradient on the Valera, they knocked that out. That's great.
Yeah, no, that one's clean. Very, very clean. Yeah, I'm a big fan of it as well. And I think there's also a blacked out version as well.
I think there is. I haven't seen that one yet, but I heard about it.
I will say they do also have a 14 millimeter version that's also just elongated. And I don't know of, I was going to say, I don't know of too many other 14 millimeter like thermoform paddles out there that are truly elongated, but really it's just the Carbon 1X 14 and I guess the Yola Perseus 14. And I'd be curious to hit the 14 millimeter Forza to see how it compares with those two, because the 1X 14 is still like, oh no, that thing slaps. I still think that's one of the most powerful paddles out on the market right now.
For sure. After hitting pretty much every thermoform paddle, if I had to rank them, I think the Carbon 1X 16 or 14, I think they're at the top for power right now. Every person I have played against that has that paddle, and just from even re-hitting it myself a bit lately, that thing slaps. It slaps real hard.
Yeah, those things are like up there for me, but I still think the Black Diamond is still like probably number one.
Yeah, I do need to hit that some more. I actually got another one in the mail because the one I did have was a pre-production model, which is why I never really ended up talking about it. So I'm excited to hit that more and see what I think of it.
Yeah, although a contender for number one most powerful paddle might be that ProDrive Ghost, or maybe even the ProDrive Carbon. I feel like that thing hit so incredibly hard. Have you hit with those yet?
Haven't hit with those. I mean, I touched your the Pro Drive when we were in Texas, but not enough to even remember what I thought of it. And the Ghost, I have, dude, it was so unfortunate. Okay, so here's how this goes, right? So I also got the Groovin' Movin' in the mail, which I love saying that name, by the way. It's just a catchy name, Groovin' Movin'. Like smart. that was clever. Yeah, that was good. But so I got 7 paddles in the mail today.
7?
That's a record. I've never had that many come in the mail before in one day. And I was gonna bring the Groovin' to the court today when I did the ball machine video, because you've talked highly about it, so I was like, okay, I should try it. And then the Alchemy showed up, and I was like, okay, well, like I know for sure I'm gonna end up doing a video on this, so I was like, I guess I'm gonna prioritize this. So Groovin' kind of had to take a seat for a minute, but I was like, oh, you were so close. You like almost you almost made it to the court. But sometimes it's hard to, like, I'm sure you've experienced this.
Mm-hmm. What do you take?
I mean, the Ghost has been on my shelf for over a week now, and I keep meaning to take it out, but something else always takes priority over it. That like I know I should be doing a video on.
Gotcha. Okay, so well, I mean, it's not just paddles. I know that you're messing with. I heard you also got the shoes from Selkirk.
I did. I asked them. I've never reviewed shoes, and I have no intentions of getting into shoe reviews, guys. If you want shoe reviews, go look up Zach the Foot Doctor on YouTube. He's like the Pickleball studio, but for shoes. Like that guy is legit. He's an actual foot doctor. He's reviewed like so many. He's crazy. Just go watch his videos if you want to learn about court shoes.
He does, but he also prioritizes like court shoes because he plays tennis. And and I think he does probably a little bit of basketball as well. But he always is reviewing from a tennis player's perspective, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, he does really good stuff. So check him out. But yeah, I got the shoes just because I was like, okay, well, it's Selkirk. I'm sure people are going to be curious about this, especially if you've racked up a lot of Labs gift cards. So I just said, hey, can you send me and my brother both of the pairs of shoes so that we can try them out? Since I haven't done a shoe review before, and I have even less of an idea of how I actually want to do this. I was like, okay, well, if I bring my brother in, if something hurts or doesn't feel good, like it's another opinion on if it's good or not. So he'll be helping me out. But here's what I'll say. First, it's a little unfortunate. They were so close to having my size. I'm a 9.5. They only had like 10 through 11.5. So when I play in them, I have to wear 2 pairs of socks. And it fits great when I have 2 pairs of socks. But with 1 pair, my foot is sliding around too much. So that didn't work. But okay, so first week of using them, I think actually today is a week of using them now. I did about 25 hours of play. That was like a bunch of drilling. That was games. And then I had a 2-day tournament over the weekend, which we'll talk about soon. And the shoes, I'm using the S01, which is the red ones. I'm starting with those, and then I'll get to the other ones later. I played them the whole week. Very comfortable. A couple notes I had about them. The sidewalls felt very flimsy. Like I can bend them a lot when the shoe is off. When I'm playing pickleball, they don't feel like they lack stability. But at least, I mean, if I compare it to some of my other court shoes, I'm like, that's way less stiff. So I don't know. I'm not noticing a lack of stability, and I even played singles in them, and I feel like I slide a lot. So if it wasn't stable, I would probably notice, like, if it was going to give me ankle issues, I'd probably know. So there was that. The other thing is they are a little slick. When I have gone to slide, sometimes I'm like, shoot, I can't stop. I'm like, I go like another foot, and I'm like, oh wait, I wasn't intending to go this far.
Oh dang, so you're just slide into the walls, into the net and stuff, huh?
Yeah, actually I did have one where I tried to stop, and I did literally slide into the net and lost the point, and I was like, well, that sucks. So a little more slick than I'm used to, but I think it's not, I think there are plenty of court shoes that are similar to this. My head revolts, grip the ground a little bit better, but it's not been enough to complain about.
I just wanted to ask you, do you see a large number of people in your area, maybe even just new people in general, who just come to play pickleball without proper court shoes? Like not even basketball shoes.
All the time.
Like there's a part of me that almost wants to say something to them sometimes because it is dangerous. So remember, I don't know if I told you, but like a month or so back when I posted something on my Instagram story, I had 2 new friends that came out to play pickleball. I was teaching them, and then I left to go get some water, and I came back, and they're out there going at it, playing singles. They didn't have proper court shoes. They had like running shoes or some trainers, and I'm like, okay, maybe they shouldn't do this, but I think it'll be okay. Like they're fairly athletic. They should be fine. Yeah, nah. One of them like had a small little tear in their Achilles or something, had to get like a minor surgery, and just got out of the boot. And I was like, I felt kind of bad. I should have said something.
It's unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. My thought is if you can tell they're really new to pickleball, like can't sustain, like, probably about a 2.5, maybe a 3.0. I don't think you're usually running enough for it to be an issue. Like you're not, the way you're moving on the court isn't that conducive to rolling an ankle, but I would still tell people if you see yourself playing this long term and multiple times a week, invest in a pair of court shoes. Like I'd probably tell people to emphasize at that level, emphasize a court shoe way more than a paddle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would say the same thing. It's funny, at the place where I was playing pickleball, it's kind of this bar area that has like 3 courts, and they have some food and stuff. It's just kind of entertainment like area. But I was just thinking about it. I was like, this is a bad mix. There's alcohol here. There's pickleball, new people, not playing in court shoes. In fact, the owner of that facility is called the Tulsa Athletic Club, where I go play sometimes. He told me that there was a doctor who came and actually thanked him. He's like, hey, yeah, because of this, ever since you opened this place up, I've been getting a lot more patients. Thank you. And I was just like, oh my God.
Should get a referral card.
Yeah.
10% commission for every patient that comes through the door.
Oh my gosh.
That's funny. No, I definitely agree. Like, invest in a good court shoe. Especially not only for the safety of your ankles, but also just preventing things like plantar fasciitis. Like, you're pounding your feet on these court, and as soon as you get plantar fasciitis, like you will hate it. It's miserable if it gets bad enough. I went through it and it sucked.
So what do you look for? What do you look for in a court shoe? I know you said, maybe I'm not going to do, shoe reviews. Maybe you'll do the Selkirk one, but, let me just help you through it a little bit. Let's kind of go through your thoughts on shoes.
Yeah, really quick. I'll just wrap up my thoughts on the Selkirk shoes really fast. So, like I said, I'm probably at about 25 hours of play this week, singles, doubles, the tournament, and playing really hard at the tournament. There is damage on the shoes. Now, I don't have a large sample size of shoes to compare to since I mostly wear the Revolts now. And when I did try other court shoes, I was newer, so I wasn't moving as hard. But it's weird. Normally when I wear down the rubber, it's on the, near the edge of the toes on the inside, like on my Revolts. That's always where I kill them. On the Selkirk, it's actually in the middle of the shoe. Like, I've worn down a very specific flat spot or smooth spot there. So that's weird. Anyways, part of the sidewall is getting damaged. It's not, I haven't broken through it yet, but it's from how I drag my feet. And then the only other thing is I managed to somehow break the shoelace when I was taking it off last night. Like, I was just taking the shoe off, I unlaced it, and it just snapped. The lace is a little thin, so that happened. So the shoe is holding up okay-ish. I think here's the thing. I'm going to say this when I review the shoes. Most people who were probably going to buy these will not come close to wearing them out as fast as I did if you don't play as much or you don't play as hard. Like, you have to remember, I play a lot of singles. I slide a lot. I'm brutal on shoes.
I know you're brutal on shoes, yeah. The man steps real hard. His first step,
I think, doom. If you're like a 3.5, which I guess is me.
Okay. All right, you said it.
Yeah, I said it. I think if you're around that level, the shoe durability is probably fine for the most part. But anyways, durability for me is not holding up great. I would imagine in a month, I'll probably have these shoes toast if I had to guess. So that's my thoughts on the S01. As far as actually looking for a court shoe, It's really hard to say. For me, it was a lot of just trying shoes and seeing what felt good. I started with the Head Revolt 3.5s. That was my first ever court shoe, and they were okay. I didn't love them. I think that's actually what gave me plantar fasciitis initially. And then after that, I watched a ton of Zach the Foot Doctor. So that's how I learned about court shoes. And I literally, every shoe I bought, I was like, dang, this guy is spot on what he said about the shoe. But anyways, eventually landed on the Revolt 4.5. And for me, what I ended up liking was, one, the cushion just feels good. And a lot of people who have bought them from my recommendation who had feet pain, usually they say they feel a lot better. So I don't know if they have extra foam. All I know is my pain stopped when I started using it, and the stability on them feels really good, which again is important for me because of sliding. Like, I don't want to roll my ankle. So for me, it's probably two things. They don't break when I drag my feet because I drag them a ton, and they have decent grip, and then the ankle support, probably the biggest things for me.
Interesting. Yeah, because my priorities are, I mean, similar but a tad bit different. The first thing I look at is, I guess, how high they feel off the ground. Like, I actually want something that is closer to the ground, but they call it like court feel, I think. So that's like one of the first things. If something has like a big, like, cushiony heel, but I feel like I'm too far off the ground, I don't like it.
What did you think? Okay, give me an example of a court shoe you've tried that is close to the ground for you.
Well, so the Nike Vapor like 9s, and then the ones that I play with right now, that I wear right now, the New Balance 996s.
How did the Revolt 4.5s feel to you? Like, where do you rank that? Do you feel close to the ground or not?
They're a little bit higher off the ground, which is why, I mean, but they're close enough. They don't feel incredibly high. You know, the thing with the Revolts, I feel like, is that I'm like, the heel comes off the ground a little bit higher, but my toes and the balls of my feet feel closer to the ground, and that's fine. But some like both feel, to me, high off the ground. I would say some of the court shoes, like the ones that are endorsed by Rafael Nadal, like, I don't know if his current ones feel like that, but some of his older ones, like years ago, I used to play with some of those. They just felt really bulky to me. And that's another thing, like weight. So they feel bulky and they feel kind of too high off the ground. Of course, they're better for durability, but that extra height off the ground makes me less confident, and I just feel like I'm going to roll over or fall over and hurt myself. So the closer I am to the ground, the more stable I personally feel, although I do sacrifice some durability. And then next up on my list is breathability. So most of the times the uppers usually have to be made of, some sort of breathable mesh or whatnot. So I was concerned about the Revolts, even though I do like the Revolts, and they're probably like my second favorite shoe, but they're pretty breathable. And I think if you look underneath of them, where in between the balls of your feet and like the heel, like inside where the arch of your foot is, there's like mesh in there, and the air kind of flows through there. So it breathes pretty well. Yeah, there's like a vent. So that actually breathes quite well. And so that's why I like it as well. So,
well, you know what I learned through testing these Selkirk shoes is that I just must not have that sweaty of feet, because I was like, dude, I just want a whole week of double socks, and one of them being like a thicker compression sock. And I never ever once thought, wow, my feet just can't breathe. So either the Selkirk shoe is insanely breathable, or my feet just don't sweat. And I'm glad, if my feet don't sweat that much, I'm glad that's one of the cases, because like you at tournaments, you're out of your court shoe the second we walk off a court between matches.
Yeah, I'm taking them off. I bring like 3-4 pairs of socks. Like, yeah, I need something, because I just feel like they can't breathe. And if my feet are uncomfortable, I'm uncomfortable. And if I'm uncomfortable, I'm not playing well. So I'm out of those shoes, no matter what they are, like immediately. Yeah, I can't believe you just kind of like stay in them. I just like, what?
Dude, I'm telling you, I've literally done, actually, I did this the other day. I wore those Selkirk shoes from 8 a.m. when I went to the tournament all the way up till 6:30 p.m. without taking them off. Like, I went from a tournament to lunch to a friend's birthday and then home. And I just, and I would do it with the Revolts too. Like,
Wow. Lucky you.
I'll take it. I'm glad I don't have the sweaty feet problem. But anyways, the reason I asked about the height of the shoe, because I haven't tried enough and I don't know previously where my other ones would rank. I think the Jet Mocs are pretty low to the ground, and for whatever the feel or sensation of those, like, kind of bothers me, or I don't feel as secure. So it made me think maybe the Revolts are a little higher up, because something about the Jet Mocs feel off to me.
Yeah, I would say the Jet Mocs feel pretty. To me, it feels close to the ground. They feel pretty low to the ground. I'd probably say maybe a little lower or close to the Revolts, but I don't know. I haven't worn the Jet Mocs in quite some time. The only ones I wore was when I visited you and I needed a pair of court shoes, and you let me borrow those.
That's right. Forgot about that.
Yeah, that was a little awkward just because we're different shoe sizes, but the Mocs come a little bit smaller, right?
Yeah.
So I was kind of okay with them. There's just some court shoes that are just really heavy and bulky and they don't breathe well. I think like the K-Swiss Ultra Shots for me are just too bulky, and they feel high and they feel hot. That's like one shoe that like the type of shoe I probably avoid like the plague. But I heard it's pretty decently durable because the soles are so thick. But
yeah. Neat. Well, yeah, that's kind of some thoughts on shoes. At some point, I'll have a review as a not foot doctor on the Selkirk shoes and let you guys know. My initial guess is like if you guys have gift cards laying around from Selkirk Labs and you've got the money for it and you need a shoe, so like I'd wear them. Like if like I would have no problem going to a tournament. I literally just did go to a tournament with them. The only complaint is just them feeling a little bit more slippery than I'm used to, but I think that's a little bit subjective and probably depends what you're used to. You might have a court shoe already that is the same, like harder rubber, and if you don't slide, you probably just won't have issues.
True. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, okay. I got two. Well, we got the tournament I want to get into because this was a lot of fun this weekend. But before we get into that, I just want to talk about this last week. I'm working on a video right now, and it involves me training a lot. It involves me hitting 25,000 two-handed backhands, and this video will come out at some point. We're only like a third of the way through filming this video. But so that meant my whole last week revolved around 8 a.m. in the morning, going and hitting 600 backhands, and then working, and then at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, going and hitting another 300 backhands. So 1,200 backhands a day, and it was kind of cool for me to do this.
Are you counting it? Like, are you like 1, 2?
No, but it's estimating because the ball machine and how many balls we had was like a little over 100. So I'm probably actually technically doing a little bit more, but I do 6 rounds on the ball machine, 6 cycles of it. So a little bit more than 600 probably. And then, you do that 2 times a day. So 1,200, but I'm not going to count like every individual, like, oh, it was 116. I just make it easy for everyone and we'll just round it to 600. Okay. But here's what's cool about this. So I haven't in a while gotten to play pickleball where it's like for my own improvement. And so this video I'm doing gets to mix both of those. It's kind of like a challenge for me and also a tutorial for other people. So basically my work became getting better at pickleball, which has been kind of fun because honestly, in just a couple days of doing this, I already noticed a big difference in my backhand, and I found several things that I didn't know I was doing, but after reviewing film of it from different angles, I was like, wait, why am I doing that? Actually, I learned how I destroy one area on my revolts. It's the weirdest area for me to break. So it's the middle of the toe, like straight down from the top to the bottom. I create this like tear or hole in it, and it's only the left shoe. And I was like, where am I dragging that middle toe? Like it's it wouldn't be on a slide. That would be really weird.
Yeah.
So here's what I figured out watching my backhand in slow motion. When I hit two-handed backhands, when my left foot comes around for the unit turn, instead of just like bringing my foot and like putting it on the ground, I would just drag my toe the whole like 90 degrees.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's really weird. So anyways, I did that for a whole week, and we've still got more of it to go. And it was a lot of fun just getting to work on my game. Like, I'm sure this is going to become more of a series on my channel, and I'm kind of excited for it. It was a lot more pickleball than I'm not used to drilling 2 times in a day plus games, but it's fun. I don't know. It made me think like, if I wasn't doing content,
You'd be
like
training.
how good could I get and how fast could I do it? Like I don't know. It makes me want to train more. Like, it really makes me want to train.
We all know that you can't get above 3.5, so it's fine. You can train all you
Dude,
want.
I don't know. I had a call with Kyle today, and we were talking about this video, and he made some joke. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna go pro now, aren't you?" And I was like, "Kyle, my only goal is to play a pro match where I put you in the back draw, and then I'm retiring. I'm done after that. That's my only goal."
Okay, you and I can do that. We can go face. I need to train more though. If we want to beat Kyle, like, I need to train more.
Yeah, it'll be a lot more training for both of us, that's for sure. So, yeah, I'm excited to do that. It was fun to do that this week. And then, not that my two-handed backhand really helped me for doubles. It's mostly for singles. But that did lead into the tournament this weekend, which was a very unique format. So
Why?
we have 2 facilities in Minnesota. Probably the 2 biggest ones outside of Lifetime. We have Lucky Shots, which has 12 courts, and then we have Mega Pickle and Pong, which has 5 courts, and they're actually opening a new one soon with 10, I believe.
Jeez.
But they did this like facility face-off basically, so it was like
that's
Team
cool.
Mega or Team Lucky Shot. So you got to sign up for whichever team you wanted to be on, and I'm good friends with Rick from Mega, so I signed up to be on his, and I didn't know how the format was going to work. I thought you came with the team that you wanted to play with, but no, how it actually worked is you signed up, and then they narrowed it down to 8 people that would play in like
draft?
a qualifier. Yes, it's like a draft. So they narrowed it down to 8, but they're only going to have one team for each division. So there's a 3-0 to 3-2-4 division, 3-2-5 to like 3-7-5, and so on. So like I played in the 4-2-5 plus division. Okay, so you have 8 guys in that division and 8 women. So how it works is on Saturday we did men's, and you played every single guy, and you played against and you played with every single guy in the tournament, and it was MLP format, rally scoring to 21, and whoever had the most points at the end of the day, you needed to be in the top 2, obviously, because if it's going to be a team, 2 guys, 2 females.
Okay.
So it was just a very unique format. You got to play with people. There was people I didn't even know. Got to play with them. You had to like figure people out a little bit quicker. Obviously, we both know like I like the MLP format. I think it's a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. It was just a really cool format. I don't know. I highly enjoyed it. And at the end of day 1, I finished in 2nd.
Whoa.
And I was like,
Congrats.
okay, phew, we're in the top 2, but here's the thing. You had to play mixed the next day, and your mixed score was also going to count. So it was basically whoever had the best gender score and mixed score combined, yeah. And I was in 2nd, and I was down by 4 points, and like another guy was off me by like 3, so I was like, shoot, this is going to be close. But mixed, I actually think mixed is my best event, and some of the guys that were close to me, I knew they don't play much mixed, so I figured they were probably going to drop off. So this was
So what happened?
This was like the best moment of this thing. Okay, so I'm playing mixed. It's going great all day. I think I only lost 1 match, maybe 2. Yeah, something like that. They were all really close. Anyways, it's the last game of the day. The guy that I'm playing against, if he beats me by more than 7 points, he takes my 2nd place slot and makes the team. And if I win, he doesn't make it. I am down something like 13-19.
Ooh.
So basically exactly what he needs to beat me.
Yes.
And we won that game 22-20, and I got the slot.
Ooh.
Dude, I was
Skin of your
pumped.
teeth.
Dude, I was so nervous during that match because I knew going into it, I was like, gosh, dang it. I was like, of course it comes down to this.
So wait, so
But-
then, okay, so you get selected. Now you've made the team. You're on the varsity team now. So now you play against Lucky Shots, or how does that work?
So August 5th, they will have every division, all 4 or 5 divisions. They'll all play on the same day, and then I I'm assuming, I haven't heard the final thing yet, but I assume it's just like basically one MLP final. So you'll play one men's match, one women's, and then the 2 mixed games to determine which facility won that division.
Okay, I see. So you are essentially part of the four-man or four-person team for your division and for your facility, and then you play the other 4-person team from the other facility within the same division.
Correct.
Who went through the gauntlet. Okay.
Yep.
Got
Correct.
it.
Honestly, I hope they do this again, and I hope they include some other facilities. We have one other
That'd
one
be
that's a
so
little
cool.
further away called Pickleball, but I know they've got some
Yeah, I
good
know
players there.
Pickleball.
Dude, it would be sick to have like a 3 or 4-way battle for like the championship. Like who is the best facility in Minnesota? That would be sick.
No, that's actually really cool. And if you had leaderboards that you could see throughout, the tournament, that's amazing. I'm gonna pitch that to. Well, I don't know. I'm gonna pitch that to the facility that's opening up here in Tulsa. I think I've mentioned it before, but we finally got the keys to the facility. It was an old. We're gonna build one, but then we got a hold of a basketball like training facility. It had 3 basketball courts in there. We're converting that into 9 pickleball courts inside, indoors, and then there's going to be 3 more outdoors. But we're trying to make it so that it is the biggest one. I mean, it will be the only one in Tulsa right now, but hopefully it'll grow. I know there's talks of more popping up here, but to have that would be really cool. And then there have been talks of doing like an inner city tournament, like MLP style, like Tulsa versus like Oklahoma City, or having a team from, I don't know, some teams from Arkansas or whatnot, or from other towns. I think that's really cool. So I like that kind of format that you sign up for your facility and you kind of go through a gauntlet to make the team that gets the privilege to play like and represent your facility. That's really dope.
Dude, it's exciting. Like I knew it was going to be close. Like I had a feeling I was going to be in probably that top 4 area, but I think anyone within that top 4 could have like flipped it. Patrick, I think Patrick got 4th, and he wasn't off by many points. Like that's the other thing too, is it's like every single point in the game matters, and you really want to blow someone out as much as you can so that you have a good point lead against them.
Wait, so when you say you were number 2, is it number 2 for just men's or number 2 overall? For
number 2 overall.
Okay, gotcha. So it's between men and women?
You didn't have to play the women, but you played mixed on Sunday, and that was basically like to say, okay, well, the guys and the girls have to be good at mixed to make the cut. Because maybe go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. I was like, so if you're number 2, like let's say the top 3 in your division are all dudes, but are the 4 the 4 members? Does it have to be 2 guys and 2 girls at the end?
Yeah, it has to be 2 guys and 2 girls.
So how do they figure that out if the top 4, like let's say the top 4 are all women? Like how does that work?
Oh no, it doesn't. So for the women and men's categories are like separated. Like it's not an overall leaderboard. It's like there's a men's leaderboard and there's a women's leaderboard, and then they take the top 2 from each leaderboard.
Oh man, wow. Okay, gotcha. That makes sense, and that's also very cutthroat. Wow. So top 2 out of how you have no idea how many. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. No, it's super cool. I'm really excited about it. I felt good to make it. I actually think I believe I had the highest points in mixed at the end of the day. And now granted, it was by like 1. The other guy, the number 1 guy on our team who has just a laser beam forehand. Like, dude, I hope you get to play him at some point, because this guy, like when people say the phrase Ferrari forehand, this guy has a Ferrari forehand. It might be a Bugatti forehand. Like,
it might be a Bugatti. Is it,
dude? The whole
Roadster
joke the whole time was if that ball went shoulder height, like the point's over.
Oh, okay. It went shoulder height. Oh, okay. Is it stronger than Omric's?
Man, I don't know. He's hitting a carbon 1X, so like it might, dude. I don't know. It's really flipping hard.
Okay, gotcha. So it is Omric levels, is what you're saying, if not better or harder.
For sure. Yeah,
oh, wow.
It was.
Okay, because
it's up there. The guy hits really hard.
Okay, well, dang.
Yeah. Also, I had 2 moments. I felt so bad for this dude.
What happened?
So I'm I don't play mixed with that many people. I've only had a few partners in mixed, and when you find one, like I usually just like to stick with them. So right now I play with this one girl, Melissa, and so since I'm playing mixed at this event, I'm playing with 8 other females to, you know, figure out everyone's slot. And there were 2 that I played with, and there were balls like, you know, it was kind of like we would talk a little bit beforehand, like how far do you want to come over to take balls? And I'm like, well, like I'll probably come over a decent amount, but like, you know, I don't want to be obnoxious. Like if there's a high ball, just let me come over and I'll take it. And we had one game against Patrick. I was a female I've never played with before, and we were down like 14-20 or something, and we started making a comeback, and I just got in a groove. Like I was just like pounding the ball. I was playing really well, and we're at like 20-20, I think, and I come over for a high ball, and like literally as I'm starting to swing, and like my whole momentum is moving to the right of me, and I realized she wasn't moving, and like all my weight just like collapsed into her. Thankfully she didn't fall over. Yeah, thankfully she was okay, and we ended up losing that point. Like I think we dumped it in the net, but I felt so like I hit her pretty hard. Like I honestly thought I was either gonna knock her over or maybe break her ankle or something.
Yeah.
I felt horrible. I felt really bad.
Yeah, you could have knocked her over, Chris, because you move. Like, I'd be scared to be on the receiving end of you tackling into me because you're like a trunk, like a truck, like a tank.
Here's the thing. I'm only like, when I'm wet, I'm only like 150 pounds. So it's not that much weight, but.
Yeah, but I mean, all the weight is at your hips and that big booty you got. And so, nah, man, that's, keep that away from me. And I'm gonna try to get your full force, like running it. So you know,
I'll give you the booty bump the next time we play.
Okay.
But the same thing happened in the final game. That game that I like had to win. I came over for a ball, and I could tell at the last second she wasn't moving. I only stepped on her foot that time, and we also lost that one. But I was like profusely apologized. I was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, I should have just let you take the ball.
You're sabotaging her points, Chris. What are you doing? Gosh.
Seriously, I felt so bad. But because I'm so used to playing with Melissa, she just knows how far I'm going to come over. So like I don't even have to think about like, am I going to hit her? But then when you have a new partner, both of you don't really know the dynamic. So you're like still and you only get one game to figure it out.
Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Huh.
Yeah. So
sounds like you had a good time.
No, I loved it. I'm excited for if they do this again next. I'm also excited for the final. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, and I guess
let me know when they do it. I'm gonna sign up for the opposite facility. See if they draft me.
That would be really funny.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it'd be perfect because what I really wanted to do, but I didn't want to make Isaac work on a weekend, was I wanted him to. I think he was also busy or something, but I wanted him to film the event, kind of like vlog style, like just have the camera running, have me mic'd up, because I thought it would make an entertaining vlog. Like, oh, hey, did I make the cut for this thing or whatever? And I think it would be really cool had we done the follow-up, but it'd be even cooler if you actually signed up for the other facility. Yeah. And then we had like a dual vlog.
A dual vlog? No, that'll be cool. Let's see how Will's doing on his side. And I'm just getting like mollywopped.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not even the top 10 right now. So, yeah.
Out of 8.
Yeah.
Will's like, it's so bad I can't even do the math. It's really funny.
I have to sign up for my own facility. I have to create a new one, you know? Just like a pretend
the Pickleball
facility.
Will.
Yeah, the Pickleball Will facility. Just opened up like literally an hour ago. You go to it and it's literally a piece of cardboard over like a chair. And there's so me sitting under it.
I did also, this might be the first time I've ever done this, actually. So I played the tournament with the Prism Flash, and I think it's the first time I've gone to a tournament with a paddle that I was testing for a review. And the paddle definitely passes, because obviously I made the cut, and it played great. I think my only complaint is that when I'm in hands and I like am punching or something, I don't have the same like put away on a punch.
I see.
But beyond that, like
weight on it.
I might, but I just like the hand speed where it's at, you know?
Yeah, that's a good battle, man. The Prism's rock solid.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I'll play with at the tournament, to be honest. It could be my DVD, it could be the Flash. I got to pick up my DVD and see how I'm feeling. Maybe I'll go back and be like, wow, I was crazy for leaving this thing. But yeah, like the Prism, it already made the top 5 in one of my videos, but glowing recommendation. I will continue to talk about that paddle because it freaking rocks.
Speaking of paddles, I got to think about what I'm going to take since I'm going to Beer City Open to...
Dude, you just got back and you're leaving again.
I know. What am I doing? It just all happened all so fast. It's like I was starving for things to do and work, and then I don't know, it all just came like an avalanche. Like just because of you, like paddles were coming to my door, every other day, and then doing the thing with Zane, and then Zane's like stuff led to work for the Beer City Open, and then the whole thing with Selkirk, and it just all happened all so fast. I was not prepared. And
hey, when you're famous, just promise me you'll remember my name.
Oh my gosh.
Don't forget me.
Who are you again? Shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
It's gonna be I'm gonna text you and you're gonna be like, hey, wait, who is this?
Oh my gosh. You guys may not know this, but like one of my first interactions with Chris, which is on film, on camera, well, we kind of staged it a little bit, was when I first visited you for the first time, and I knocked on your door, and you're like, who are you? And I'm like, it's me, it's Will. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't talk to people with less than 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, that was you.
But guess what? You have more than 1,000 subscribers now, and now we talk.
Okay, yes. You're right.
So funny.
Yeah, well, I'm going to Beer City Open, and then after that, I'm going to Seattle. I'm going to be playing in that with Jeff. I think I mentioned that on the last pod. Let's see. Should I play with Phil or should I play with something else? I'm not sure. I don't know what paddles to bring. Here's the thing. When you go travel, I'm trying to bring less now because...
Yeah, same.
2 paddles.
I don't like traveling with a lot of stuff. It's just a hassle.
Yeah. Oh, man, no, I'm definitely traveling with less now because now I got all this camera gear I got to bring for the Beer City Open since I'm the videographer for that event.
Oh, wait, and that means you have to bring it all to Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you go straight from... Oh, shoot. That's kind of rough. That's going to be a lot of equipment.
Yeah. Actually... I think it'll be okay. It won't be that much more equipment. Most of the equipment that's being brought is brought by your brother since he's helping me out. So
True. We should just ship it to you.
No, why would you? It wouldn't even get here on time.
That's true. You leave to... I mean, I could overnight it.
No, you wouldn't.
I wouldn't do that, no. Yeah, I mean, I hope you have a fun time out there. I definitely want to make it to that tournament one day. To be honest, even though it's a tournament that people talk a lot about, I am glad I'm missing this one. I've really enjoyed this month having just like a little bit, like I'm working, but having a less of a travel thing. Like I think traveling is great, but I have a lot of respect for these pros who are literally doing this every weekend or near every weekend because it's a lot not being at home, especially if you have families. Like I don't have kids. But even just being away from Sarah, like sometimes you just want to be home,
Yeah, no, I hear that. Oh, you want to be home, or maybe some of these pros and some of these people, they just actually want to get away from their families because their kids are annoying or they don't like their spouse or something. Who knows?
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Let's hope that's not the case for too many people.
Well, all I'm going to say is that I'm probably going to miss you since you're not going to be coming to BCO or coming to Seattle. I think it would have been fun, but it's okay. I'll have fun with Doug from Bread and Butter, and then I'm also going to hang out with Larry from Kiwi Labs.
Fun.
Yeah, since he's out there. And also Hugh and Sophie from Revelin. I think it's going to be a good time.
Oh, they're going to be... Oh, yeah, that makes sense. They're in Michigan.
Yeah, they're Michigan. I think they're a paddle sponsor. They're a sponsor for that tournament. Yeah.
Cool.
Maybe I'll see Eddie and Webby. I can challenge. See, you should have came. You could have challenged Eddie and Webby.
True. What did he ask me? He messaged me a while ago. I can't remember if he wanted to do a singles game against me or if it was something else.
It could have been a doubles game, you and me versus
Dang
them.
It.
But now
that
I'm gonna go tell him. I was like, you know what? Chris got scared, and
all right, that was weird, guys. I mean, through the magic of editing, you didn't have to hear all that. But right as Will was saying, whatever he just said last, which was, I believe, another insult to me, per usual, our call just dropped and stopped working. So we couldn't really remember what we said. So we're just going to acknowledge that it got messed up and go from there. But anyways,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure he told me I was too scared to be there and do the challenge. Will,
That's
if there's
right.
anyone If there is anyone who is not scared of a challenge, for better or for worse, it's me. So let's just make it straight here that Chris Olsen was not scared. He was not scared to be a 3-5 on camera. So funny. But yeah, no, I mean, I hope you have a good time over at the Beer City Open. It sounds like it's a great tournament. You'll have to let me know what you think. And then obviously you've got Seattle. You'll definitely have to let me know what you think of that one as well.
Yeah, I'll let you know how it goes. To be honest with you, I'm a little scared that it's going to be a shit show because...
Really?
Well, yeah, because... All right, so, the PPA has had a history of hosting, some poorly run tournaments before. Not all of them are bad, of course, but some of them are not ran very well, and we're going to be going to Seattle. This is the first time they've held this tournament. It's going to be a golden qualifier, but not only that, they switched up the venue just maybe, a week or 2 weeks ago, and that venue is not a dedicated pickleball facility. It's a 10 tennis court park, and I'm assuming that some of the courts are going to be lined courts. They might resurface a court for championship, for the pros, maybe 3 courts, and I don't know. I'm just, keeping my expectations kind of low, I suppose you could say. And, I don't know what to expect.
I have very similar thoughts to the Kansas PPA that we're both going to, because I've played at the venue it's going to be at, and it's an indoor tennis facility. I don't think the domes come down in the summer, so it's all tennis domes. And then the pickleball area is only 4 courts, and it's not bad. I've enjoyed playing there. For amateurs, I think it works great. But for pros, there's no way they'd want to play on that court. I think they would have to... The bubble that the pickleball court's in, they'd have to get rid of the 4 courts, orient it 90 degrees, and then make it one championship court, and then have a bunch of stadium seating around it or something. I think that's the only way that really works. And then all the other ones are tennis courts, so I don't know how... they're probably not going to resurface that many of them for the amateurs. I don't know. I'm very skeptical of how that one is going to go, to be honest, but maybe they'll surprise me. There's also just not a lot of areas to linger there. I don't know. I'll be surprised if we walk away going, wow, this was run really well.
Okay. Well, let's hope that, the PPA proves us wrong.
Yeah. I'm hoping to be proven wrong. Wouldn't be the first time, and it won't be the last.
True that. All right, cool. Well, I think that's pretty much all I got. You got anything else you wanted to talk about?
Nope, that's pretty much it. To be honest, we made longer conversation than I thought. I thought this every week that I think it's going to be short, I'm like, oh yeah, this will be a 30-minute episode. We end up going over an hour. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. So I don't.
Yeah. Well, there was more stuff to talk about, but I just didn't keep up with. Obviously there was the Denver PPA, and then there was the MLP redraft. But I'm gonna be quite honest with you. Yeah, I didn't even kind of really tune in to those. I watched a few points here or there, but I don't know. I felt like I was just kind of enjoying playing pickleball and doing other things aside from just watching it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I saw a little bit of it. I saw some of the bigger draft names or whatever, but this week was just so many other little small projects that I was like, the last thing I want to add is going and seeing what the MLP draft was. Maybe at some point we'll revisit it. I actually think it would be fun to look at the teams and do what we did last time, make some predictions about where they might go, how well they'll do, and then also go back to the episode where we predicted last season and see how right or wrong we were.
Okay, yeah, we'll definitely do that for another one for sure.
Yeah, that'd be sick. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll catch you next week.
All right, peace.
Woo!